week, and I guess how much you kind of sit down and watch football on your own when you're away from it?
Yeah, I watched obviously Thursday night's game during the bye week. It was Arizona. I would have watched it anyways, but certainly being Arizona, you want to pay attention. And then Sunday watched as well, and it was interesting just to see. You don't sit back and watch NFL football at a whole on a Sunday very often. So it's always telling what you observe, and whether it's the situational things that come up at the end of halves and end of games, whether it's the ups and downs of play you see throughout the league, and really the difficulty to predict what's going to happen, because anything can happen, and you're just reminded of that as you watch and you're not playing. I think last Sunday that was very true.
Any high-level takeaways from a day on the couch watching football? Anything you noticed?
I think that was just it. The situations and just seeing how games didn't go maybe the way that I thought they would, in terms of teams you thought would have the upper hand losing, and vice versa.
Kirk, along those lines, the scoring across the league is down not insignificantly this year in the NFL. We've talked about different possibilities. Do you have any theories about why? Do you think it's cyclical, or what do you think there could be this year that's going on defensively or whatever that's affecting that?
I've been asking the same question myself, and I don't know that I have a great answer right now. So I'd be interested to hear y'all's opinions as well. But it does seem to be something that's going on, and hard to quite understand any specific reasons why.
I mean, there's no new defenses that come up out of the big sky anymore.
Yeah, defenses are evolving. I think what some teams are doing is newer or different. I think there's constant evolution that you observe, and even among coaches, where you say, okay, we played that coach 4 years ago. The defense he ran 4 years ago is not the same as the defense he's running now, even though it would technically be the same terms or the same system. What he's actually calling in crunch time are different calls. And offense too, there's differences there. I think it's interesting too, the one that was maybe scratching my head was, and again, you could fact check me, it would seem that illegal contact in favor of the offense is up. So you would think that would give the offense an advantage, and yet from a production standpoint, even if they're calling illegal contact, offenses apparently are not statistically more productive.
It is up.
So it's an interesting, paradox there as to how can those two exist at the same time, but apparently they do.
Do you see you see it probably as a quarterback, the degree to which people are playing the two high shells, the big Fangio defense? The kind you guys played. Is that having any of that effect?
Probably. I think that's a great answer, Ben. I think that when teams do play deep to short, play with two safeties, they're what you're sacrificing is the potential ability to stop the run. If you're still stopping the run, then you might as well play that and try to prevent some big plays in the pass game from happening. So that certainly could be a possibility. But I've also this year seen some teams that just did a good job of pattern matching, and they're still in single high, and you'd like to think pre-snap you got a great chance, but they just did a good job with their leverage and kind of playing the right side of the receiver and taking away certain routes and making it hard.
Kirk, you've got the luxury of having receivers who can still beat some of that coverage, and if you get it right.
Yeah.
Have you ever, I guess, does it dawn on you sometimes how much of a luxury you've been able to have since you've been here, to always basically have those elite receivers?
Yeah, I think when you face man coverage, you gotta be able to have people who can separate and win versus man coverage. Otherwise, you're going to get man coverage all game long and have nowhere to go with the football. So that's why it's so important not only to have receivers who can beat man coverage, but tight ends, a halfback who can beat man coverage, because you can get a lot of different favorable matchups that way, no matter who it is. But certainly, I go back to Washington, getting to play with Jordan Reed, Vernon Davis, Deshaun Jackson, Pierre Garçon, Jamison Crowder, Chris Thompson out of the backfield, and then being able to come here and play with Adam and Stephon and Justin and KJ and Irv and Rudy. There's a lot of guys that you get the chance to play with in our backs, being able to do what they do in the pass game as well. And I like to be a point guard. I like to distribute. I take pride in trying to say, I want all 5 eligibles, the defense, to have to be aware of them, because they know the ball could go to them. And I want, I want you guys covering our team to have to cover all the eligibles, knowing that any one of these guys can get the football. And so as a quarterback, you kind of take pride in distributing it so that a lot of guys are getting involved and getting touches, hopefully.
As you reflected on the first 6 games, I don't know how much you did, but and I know each game is different every play, so it's hard to probably think of a theme. But as you did reflect, was there anything that you came back to that you thought about as a theme in the first 6 games?
I think we need to be better in a couple areas. I think second and long and third and long we need to be better. You could also argue that, hey, let's because of the success we've had in second and medium or less, and third and medium or less, if we can be efficient on first down and second down, staying out of second and long and third and long, we would be putting the wind at our back. So you're really speaking to all 3 downs there, but you're saying, hey, first down success would tend to show statistically that we're having a lot of success then on second and third down by putting ourselves in shorter yardage situations, and then the opposite is true. We aren't as successful on first down, and we've got to get better at overcoming that on second and third down in the longer yardage situations. I do think taking care of the football is such an important part of winning in this league, and I think our defense taking the football away has also been a big part of us winning this season. And so being +4 right now is a positive. We've got to keep rolling that and continue that. And we'll keep doing all the critical things that affect winning football games. We'll keep focusing on them.